Good morning. It's Saturday. I'm going home. Yay. I was just gonna say watch the joy beam from Alistair, but it's been a real good egg because he's brought me to Disney Springs. So my flight is at 5:30 and it's currently around 10 o'clock in the morning. And Alistair very kindly is going to drive me to the airport around lunchtime. So we decided, oh, the balloon's up. Look at that. So we decided we would come to Disney Springs for breakfast to make some magic on the last day. We're in the car. He's about to drive me to the airport. So mean. But we went to Disney Springs. We had a good couple of hours there. Yeah. Starbucks, walked around. If you followed along our January vlogs, Alistair has found the artwork that we spent, I bet, a whole afternoon walking around. We walked around World Showcase at least twice and it was hot.
And it destroyed my knee.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. And he'd seen this artwork and he didn't buy it when he first saw it and then decided, it's like the last day, wasn't it, that he wanted it. So we were walking around forever trying to find it.
It was actually the next day we went looking for it.
Was it?
Yeah. You would have thought they would have had lots of it, given that it was the poster for Festival of the Arts, and we were there the first week, Festival of the Arts.
But it's sold out.
It sold out within 2 days.
But walking around Disney Springs, we randomly went into the art shop and we found it. So Alistair has now bought it.
Not in the poster form.
Rather than waiting to be like, oh, I'll get it tomorrow and then it not be there. So he has it now. So you've got more packing to do at some point.
Yes.
Alistair's still got a few days. So you will have more videos of various bits and pieces. You're going to All-Star.
One of them.
One of them. So you'll have a bit of Disney magic. And I might film a little bit at the airport, but we'll see how it goes. But it's been magical, and thanks for travelling along with us if you've stuck around, because they will have been a bit weird, these vlogs, I feel. Yeah. They're not going to be full days, they're just going to be random bits and pieces. So thanks for following along, and hopefully we can talk him into booking another trip soon.
Please stand clear of the closing door. Now hear this, road trippers. The Flamingo family is just coming up on the Florida state line. Once again, to successfully take a photo, align the red dot in your camera's viewfinder with your light in the center of the sun, and press down on the button. And remember, souvenir oranges are worth bonus points. Get ready, your exit's coming up. You're listening to the sunny airwaves of WRAY, the soundtrack of your Florida road trip. You're hearing the sound of my voice who just washed over the Sunshine State Line. Have those cameras handy because you're about to roll through glorious Jacksonville, the gateway to Florida. It's the perfect place for mom and dad to stroll scenic beaches, while kids open it up on the boardwalks buoyant and the many arcades and roller coasters. In fact, it was Playland amusement park's monopoly of Goliath Beach that inspired this crazy proposition called the Jacksonville Jump.
See America's oldest city, St. Augustine. Step back in time to savor the eternal waters that lured Spaniards to Florida in 1513 at the Fountain of Youth, where a genuine conquistador recounted
returns to Daytona to take on the 70.
Hello, flyers, and welcome aboard the Wheel. You have embarked on a wondrous 400-foot ascent to the Central Florida sky. Cruising at a leisurely 1 mile per hour, you'll get to know the sights of Orlando aboard the tallest observation wheel on the East Coast. Be sure to have your cameras ready and take a moment to locate the north, south, east, and west markers above the windows so you know where to look. Gazing out over this thriving city, it's hard to believe that what you see began as lakes, wetlands, and palmetto prairie. But something about Orlando has always held a special fascination for dreamers who came from far and wide to make their visionary ideas reality. While today, most people know us for our theme parks and first-class hospitality, the story of Orlando and its legacy of dreams goes back thousands of years when the original wheel was the hot new tech. In the beginning. Well, okay, actually about 12,000 years ago, the first humans set foot in the region now known as Central Florida. But unlike you, they didn't erect to palm trees and sunshine. Would you believe that back then, Florida was frozen in a prehistoric ice age? These ancient nomads learned to live among the glaciers, making them the first Florida snowbirds. When the mighty glaciers melted, they created thousands of inland lakes. These new water sources drew many of Florida's indigenous tribes, like the Tijuana and the Tolomega, farther south. Centuries later, the Seminoles would inherit these tribes' ancestral lands after relocating to Florida from farther north. In 1513, Spanish conquistadors arrived in Florida, chasing dreams of eternal youth and expanded empire. These explorers found the temperate climate ripe for growing citrus and planted the region's first orange trees. Word of La Florida's abundance soon spread, driving more European colonization. By the early 1800s, few settlers obtained the marshy Central Florida wilderness that was then part of Mosquito County. Besides a few lawless outposts and a Seminole tribe reservation, the area was largely unpopulated until 1845, when the U.S. Army established Fort Gatlin near modern-day downtown Orlando. Old legend tells us of a Fort Gatlin soldier who lost his life single-handedly saving the fort from an ambush. His name was Orlando Reeves. When his fellow soldiers buried him on the banks of Lake Eola, they carved his name on a tree to mark the grave. Some say this is where our city got its name. After the Seminole Wars ended, fortune seekers fled the crowded northern cities to make their marks in Central Florida's young citrus industry. By 1875, the region had grown so much that it was incorporated into a city. Orlando was born, and soon a new wave of dreamers was knocking at its door. The 20th century ushered in an industrial revolution, opening minds to new spheres of opportunity, including the stratosphere. After World War II, the country's fixation turned to rockets. Orlando found itself at the center of space fever when aerospace giant Martin Marietta, later Lockheed Martin, established a plant here in 1956. This was a prelude to the influx of rocketeers to Central Florida just 2 years later, as part of NASA's Project Mercury, headquartered 50 miles east on Cape Canaveral. As early as the 1880s, Central Florida had a toehold in the tourism industry with a few quaint lakefront hotels. Sunshine State, I'll introduce you to some of my favorite hometown spots. Looking directly north, you may see something that looks a little out of place in the central Florida skyline. A smoky volcano! This brimstone peak is the centerpiece of Universal Orlando Resort's Volcano Bay Water theme park. Back in 1990, Universal made history by opening up its first theme park and movie studio outside Hollywood. Today, this 500-acre resort brings a true Tinseltown experience to Central Florida with its scenic walk entertainment district, top-notch resort hotels, and both Universal Studios Florida and Island of Adventure parks. To the northeast, up the sordid spine of I-4, you can see the office buildings and high-rises of downtown Orlando. Downtown is the center of the thriving community of arts, technology, and healthcare innovation that also calls Central Florida home. Any basketball fans on board? Downtown Orlando's Amway Center is the official home court of the Orlando Magic. Back in 1992, the Magic drafted a tall young beat baller fresh out of college named Shaquille O'Neal. From what I hear, he did all right for himself, but I think the wheel still has a few inches on it. Directly east on the other side of Universal Boulevard are the rooftops of Lockheed Martin's Missile and Fire Control Facility. Inside, some of aerospace's brightest talents mastermind the latest ballistic technologies. Even farther east, another group of geniuses have their eyes in the sky. Does NASA ring a bell? If you look past the cooling towers of Stanton Energy Center, you might spy the blinking airplane lights atop the Kennedy Space Center's vehicle assembly building. This 500-foot structure has served as the delivery room for some of NASA's biggest babies, from the Saturn V rocket to the Space Shuttle fleet. Since 1962, Kennedy Space Center has launched every major American mission into the final frontier, from the Apollo 11 moon landing to the Mars Curiosity probe. Today, space fans from all over make the hour drive from Orlando to Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex for launches. But my favorite place to watch is from right up here. Looking to the southeast, you might see a plane or two flying over the control tower of Orlando International Airport, formerly known as Employee Air Force Base. The military hasn't used the airfield since the 70s, but its airport code, FCO, is stuck. Turning further to the south, you'll get a good look at International Drive, home to some of Orlando's most popular restaurants, clubs, and attractions. I-Drive is also home to the Orange County Convention Center, the second largest convention center in the United States, distinguished by its dramatically stacked windows. This massive complex covers over 160 acres and counting. A little farther south, you'll see the twisted tracks of SeaWorld's Bingo rising above the convention center. This 200-foot thrill ride is the largest roller coaster in Orlando. In addition to world-class thrills, SeaWorld is home to hundreds of rescued and rehabilitated fish, ocean animals, and other creatures of the deep. Since opening in 1973, SeaWorld has grown to include the interactive dolphin experience at Discovery Cove and Aquatica Water Park. Looking southwest toward Tampa, you might notice what looks a little like a giant golf ball peeking over the treetops. This geodesic sphere actually hosts Spaceship Earth, the flagship attraction of Walt Disney World's Epcot. If you wanted to play golf with it, you'd need to be over a mile tall. Did you know Walt Disney wasn't the first in his family to try his luck in Florida hospitality? In 1888, Walt's parents got married just west of Orlando in Lake County. They later moved to Daytona, where Walt's dad managed a hotel. It really is a small world. Directly west, toward the waters of Sand Lake, is the neighborhood of Dr. Phillips, named after the Orlando citrus baron who revolutionized soft drinks with flash pasteurization, a process that rids canned drinks with metallic flavor. Today, the Dr. Phillips Foundation supports all kinds of local community service and arts organizations. Dr. Phillips is where you'll find Bay Hill Club and Lodge, host to the PGA Tour's Arnold Palmer Invitational. In 1974, golf's keen on the modest Bay Hill Club and made it into a luxury golf resort. PGA stars like Tiger Woods have owned While the wheel is still a symbol of progress, the mechanics of this 400-foot marvel are not so different from the original Ferris wheel of 1893. When George Ferris Jr. introduced his 260-foot rotating wonder at the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, the Ferris wheel was a true innovation in engineering. The spinning behemoth was run on a 1,000 horsepower steam engine and could carry over 2,100 passengers at a time. The cabins were converted railroad cars, each outfitted with rotating chairs, so riders were literally at the height of comfort during their 20-minute revolution. Like its cast iron forefather, this wheel is supported by a cobweb structure of spokes, spindles, and hubs. When the wheel opened back in 2015, it was the second tallest attraction of its kind in the United States, and the fifth largest in the entire world. But instead of steam power, the wheel operates on 14 6.6 kilowatt engines with a combined 123 horsepower. And rather than tricked out boxcars, its sleek fiberglass shielded capsules take inspiration from the streamlined ski lift cabs that scale the Alps. After 3 years of construction, the wheel took its inaugural flight on April 29, 2015. Of course, in true Orlando fashion, its grand opening was a real spectacle. All eyes were on Central Florida that rainy, windy morning as world-famous daredevil Nick Wallenda attempted to walk the spinning wheel without a harness. The king of the high wire braved the Florida weather and safely crested the 400-foot outer rim in a matter of 5 minutes, setting a world record for the greatest distance walked at the top of an observation wheel. Pretty iconic, right? But I don't recommend you try it. Of course, feats of daring aren't the only skyscraping spectacular the wheel has to offer. The wheel is programmed with 5 unique lighting effect sequences, and every night you can watch this big guy illuminate the Orlando skyline with its colorful light shows. Attention flyers! We are making our final descent into the wheelhouse, Icon Park's central gathering place. Icon Park offers a mix of attractions, restaurants, and shopping that's a cut above the usual. From high thrills to trendy chills, every speed of fun is on hand in Orlando's hometown playground. Inside the wheelhouse, you and your squad can take an in-depth look and discover something amazing, from sharks to clownfish, inside Sea Life Aquarium. If your lifestyle features glamorous, walk the red carpet on over to Madame Tussauds. I hear it's the place to hobnob with Hollywood A-listers, Hall of Fame athletes, and even world leaders. Down the wheel sent ya. And if you're craving more high-altitude thrills, we go right out of the wheelhouse over to the 450-foot Orlando Starflyer for a 60-mile-an-hour spin at Disney Heights. Does all that high flying have you hungry? Lucky for you, Icon Park has dozens of dining options, from light bites to full meals. Whether you're in the mood for burritos, burgers, sushi, or sweets, Icon's got your taste buds covered. And if you want to know where the party is, it's right here at Icon Park. When the Florida sun sets, we're just revving up for a night of bumping beats, sizzling eats, and some potent potables. And what better place to get a little buzz on than at 400 feet aboard the Wheel Sky Bar? If you're itching to cut loose country style, scoot your boots on over to Old Red for some swinging tunes, good home cooking, and irreverent fun, courtesy of Nashville superstar Blake Shelton. Attention flyers! We're approaching Wheelhouse Station. I hope you enjoyed your flight aboard the wheel. It's been a blast sharing with you the sights and stories of my home, Orlando. You're one of the family now, and if you took any cool family pics on your journey, be sure to tag them at Icon Park Orlando or hashtag Icon Park on social media. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here in the city, beautiful, or wherever your travels take you. Please gather your belongings and stand by to disembark. Until next time, flyers, so